In Elden Ring, you can get a legendary talisman as soon as you reach the open world, but beware, doing so will require venturing into dangerous territory. To get this talisman, you will need to travel to Fort Faroth in Caelid. The fastest way to reach this location is by first traveling to the Third Church of Marika. Behind the church in shallow water, you can find a portal that will transport you to the northeast corner of Caelid. From here, make your way south, resting at sites of grace along the way, and ending your journey at Fort Faroth. Fort Faroth contains some tough enemies, so be prepared. Enter the fort and weave through the bottom floor, quickly locating and climbing the ladder to the upper level. You might as well grab the right half of the Dectus medallion at the top of this ladder before proceeding. On the roof below, find the pit with a ladder poking out and drop in. Moving along, you'll need to jump to reach a secluded area that leads to another ledge. Drop down and find the legendary talisman nearby. Once you've safely made it back out of the castle, you can see that this talisman is a souped-up version of Radagon's Soreseal. It increases your Vigor, Endurance, Strength, and Dexterity by 5, but it also causes you to take more damage from attacks. That being said, I'm not sure of any exact value on the increase to that damage taken. And unfortunately, it is not compatible with the Soreseal talisman, so you cannot use both at the same time. The Radagon Icon is one of Elden Ring's legendary talismans. It's very easy to get from the Debate Parlor Site of Grace in Raya Lucaria Academy. From there, head out the north exit and turn right after walking through the iron gates. Turn right again and jump over the railing, then climb your way up the ladder above the parlor. Jump in through one of the broken windows and head around to the right side to find the chest containing the legendary item. This talisman reduces the casting time of both sorceries and incantations. From my testing, it seems to reduce the cast time by around 5 to 7%. It's a small difference to be sure, but sometimes that can make all the difference in a boss fight or PvP battle. In Elden Ring, you can get a powerful legendary talisman near the Grand Lift of Dectus. Starting from the top of the lift, head southeast down some descending plateaus to find the Golden Lineage Evergaol. You should be able to insert a stone sword key in the nearby gargoyle to access this Evergaol. On the inside, you should have a boss fight with Godric in his first form. If you can't access this boss fight, it may be that you have to defeat Godric the Grafted in Stormveil Castle first, so be sure to try that if you're having trouble. In terms of strategy to defeat this boss, I just spammed Hoarfrost Stomp to pretty good effect. You can get this super powerful Ash of War from an invisible treasure scarab east of Caria Manor, but I digress. However you manage to do it, defeating Godric here will reward you with the Godfrey Icon, a legendary talisman that enhances charged spells and skills. That means whether you are charging up an Ash of War skill or charging up a Fireball, this talisman will allow them to cause even more damage. From my testing, it seems to increase the damage on a charged attack by about 15%, and I'll have a side-by-side comparison shown. The Moon of Nokstella is one of Elden Ring's legendary talismans. To get it, you will first need to complete Ranni's questline up to the point where you gain access to Reyna's Rise. From there, you can take a portal to Ainsel River, which is where this guide starts. From there, head down south through the Ul Palace ruins, and then stick right to reach the next site of grace. You should eventually reach the Site of Grace at Nokstella Eternal City. From there, head up into the Citadel. At the end of this bridge, you can find a legendary Great Ghost Glove Ward in the temple to the right, which you'll want to grab before continuing on. When going through the next structure, watch out for the mimic tears dropping from the ceiling above. Head out left and ascend the final staircase into the Grand Cathedral. Defeat the guardians in that chamber, and then open the chest to claim your prize, the Moon of Nokstella. This legendary talisman increases your memory slots for spells by 2. Marika's Soreseal is one of Elden Ring's legendary talismans. To get it, you'll first need to have reached the Haligtree Canopy Site of Grace. From there, traverse along tree branches down towards the town proper. The worst parts of this leg of the journey are the rot-spewing flowers and the bubble-hurling chungus near the bottom. Once you've made it to the Haligtree Town Site of Grace, you can make a mad dash to the Plaza Site of Grace or take your time if necessary. This Site of Grace is going to lead us to a shortcut and a boss fight. If you want any chance of running past the Spirit Caller Snail, drop down onto the rooftop, don't jump, then sprint past the snail and its Crystallian summon and leap to relative safety on the other rooftop. Good timing and rolling are required. You can jump and run over the next rooftop, or failing that, run through beneath. Once you get to the following bridge, leap to your left and take the Birdcage lift to unlock a very nice shortcut back to the Haligtree Town Site of Grace. Not only will this be nice for the boss fight, but I found it to be much easier getting past the sorcerers from this shortcut than from the initial path we took to get here. Just beyond them, you'll find a boss that must be defeated before proceeding. This boss is no joke, but a well-upgraded Sword of Night and Flame, along with a Mimic Tier summon, gets the job done. After defeating this boss, move on to and past the Haligtree Promenade Site of Grace. It's a relatively short trip to the next Site of Grace at the Prayer Room, with only one real enemy standing in the way. From this point, we can finally reach Marika's Soreseal. Head out the northern exit of the prayer room and dash past a handful of guards. You'll want to jump out onto the second archway on your right and make your way down it using a few specific points to safely descend. Once beneath the archway, an abomination will appear to attack. You can deal with it there if you want, or you can try to head south and dispel the fog wall in that direction first. The room that opens up is difficult for this mini-boss to enter and allows you to cheese the fight to a certain extent. In addition, this is the room where you'll find the legendary talisman, Marika's Soreseal. This talisman increases the Mind, Intelligence, Arcane, and Faith stats by 5 each, the trade-off being that it will also increase damage taken by the wearer. Personally, I've so far found the trade-off to be well worth it in almost every way. The Dragoncrest Greatshield Talisman is one of Elden Ring's legendary talismans and is located in Mikola's Haligtree. This video will start at the Drainage Channel Site of Grace. From there, head out the east exit, then move along the tree branches to reach the rooftop of the nearby temple. To reach the talisman, you'll need to drop down through the hole in the roof. There's an elevated area with a chest and a few enemies near the back/west side of the structure. Now, I've already cleared out most of them, but this place is normally crawling with those web-shooting insects, and they are a huge pain. But once you've managed to clear them out, you can drop down and open the chest to claim your reward. This legendary talisman enormously boosts physical damage negation, which is almost always useful. The Old Lord's Talisman is one of Elden Ring's legendary talismans. To get it, you'll first need to reach the Crumbling Fair Mausoleum by performing a ritual with Melina at the Forge of the Giant's Site of Grace. This is a point of no return of sorts and will close off access to certain quest lines in the open world, so proceed at your own discretion. Once you've done that, you'll need to make your way all the way through the Fair Mausoleum until you reach the Site of Grace beside the Great Bridge. From there, head out the west exit. At the top of the stairs, travel north along the bridge and make your way through the path that follows. A small room with the chest and talisman therein is waiting near the end. However, be warned, the room is filled with several misbegotten waiting in ambush. You may also be invaded by Recusant Bernal just prior to that room, depending on what actions you performed in the open world before coming here. So my advice, first handle any invader that tries to stop you, then carefully clear the room of the misbegotten before opening up the chest and claiming your prize. The Old Lord's Talisman extends the duration of both sorceries and incantations. This is particularly useful for any buff or debuff spells. Erdtree's Favor +2 is the last legendary talisman that you can get in Elden Ring. To get it, you'll first need to defeat Malekith in the Crumbling Fair Mausoleum. Doing so will definitely close off access to certain areas and quests in the game, so proceed at your own discretion. Anyways, once that's done, travel to the Forbidden Lands Site of Grace. From there, backtrack into the capital. Take the first lift up and head out the west exit. Then continue all the way to a second lift which you'll need to take down into the capital. After exiting the lift, proceed forward to find a large open field of ash with a corrupted Erdtree roaming around. The talisman is located on a dead tree at the far southwest end of that field, and as you make your way towards it, an additional 2 corrupted Erdtrees will spring out of the ground to attack. You can fight them all if you want, or if you're like me, just make a haphazard dash for the talisman and then skedaddle. This legendary talisman increases HP by 4%, stamina by 8%, and equip load by 10%, all of which are great bonuses to have. If you want to see more great guides, you can head over to my channel, and if you're new, consider subscribing. You're helping me feed my cat. Her name's Marshmallow. Have a great day if you're here today, have a great Saturday, and as always, thanks for watching.